Hi, I've been wanting for a while just to make a few videos about some fairly common and basic rituals and ceremonies. And so I'm going to start today with smudging. And for many of you who follow me on Facebook or on Patreon, smudging may be something you've done for years, and it may be part of your daily practice. So some of this might seem sort of old hat to you, but some of you perhaps haven't. And even for those of you who have smudged for years, perhaps some of what I'll say will help to put this in a new perspective. So, smudging's a ritual that's found pretty much all throughout the world. And in its simplest form, it involves the burning of herbs, usually associated with some medicinal properties, and the burning of which has some effect on the space in which it's burned. It's often associated with Native Americans who would burn sage for cleansing and purification, cedar for clarity and balance, or sweetgrass for opening and harmonious energy. But the practice is far more widespread than just North America. In South and Central America, copal was a medicine plant used for smudging. Frankincense was used widely throughout Europe, and the scientific name given to sage, perhaps the most widely used smudge in North America, was Artemisia, because the plant was sacred to Artemis and burned in her temples in Greece. And many a Catholic ritual began with a procession, at the head of which was a smoldering smudge incense pot that was swung back and forth to clear the space. You've probably all seen that in some movies about the Middle Ages. When speaking practically, there are many options for smudging. For example, sage. Sage comes in both the broadleaf white sage variety, and that's often burned in a bowl or leaf by leaf, and the common variety, Artemisia vulgaris, which can be stripped from the stalk, crushed into powder, and burned in an abalone shell, or wrapped into cylinders, usually along with cedar, to make the popular smudge stick. Here, for example, this is a smudge stick of white sage. And here is a abalone shell in which people, this is the method I use. I pick sage and I crush it into powder, then I'll put it in the abalone shell and burn it and blow on it until it's smoldering. Sweetgrass is commonly wrapped into long braids, and cedar is usually burned in a small sprig and then lit. Cedar just goes up like a torch. It's very flammable, and then it can be quickly blown out, and it will then smolder and produce smoke for a good while. So the use of smudging can be used to cleanse or bless an individual, a room or a space, an entire house, and the methods might vary accordingly. The burning leaf, stick, or smudge bowl may be waved over someone or through a space, or the smoke may be wafted and spread with a feather or wing. In general, whether you've been immersed in a particular tradition, it's better to give attention to the spirit or the intention of the ritual, cleansing, blessing, or prayer, rather than worry about the details or the letter of whatever method you're using. Smudging can also be used as a vehicle for prayer. Much like when you use a medicine pipe, smoke is seen as something that spreads, scatters, and disperses throughout a space. In a medicine pipe, your prayers are carried to the four corners of the world. And as such, the smoke is seen as carrying prayers out and into the universe. So, for example, in one of my morning rituals, when I light the smudge, and I waft it over me, and then I pray prayers of gratitude, prayers of thanks, and my sense is that the smoke is carrying those prayers out to the universe. Smudging is also often used at the start of a gathering, a meeting, or a ritual. Since it cleanses and blesses, it prepares the participants for whatever's to follow. And the ritual of smudging itself marks a change. When done with reverence, silence, prayerfulness, the group is moved from secular, social, and scattered space to sacred space. Now, tomorrow, well, actually, probably in a couple days, I have a workshop coming up this weekend that I need to prepare with. But in a couple days, I want to follow this with a talk about sacred space and what that means and how to create it in a good way. Thanks so much, and I wish you a good day.